Welcome to another episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sarah.
I'm Heather.
And today we're going to be talking all about alcohol-free routines that actually work, and especially when you're busy, because we're actually recording this episode, just a peek behind the curtain. We're recording it like at the beginning of summer for Heather and I, but it will actually air on September 2nd, which is going to be the beginning of school year for so many of us, our kids going back to school, or maybe even, I know parents who go back to school or are starting something new. And I don't know about you, I feel like September is always kind of like a fresh start, almost like a new year. Do you feel like that when it comes along?
I kind of do. So my kid goes to school year round,
So
like
jealous.
camp and then school.
Yeah.
So, and it is a transition in that it is school versus camp, right? So
Yeah.
it is an opportunity to reevaluate routines, and especially like both of our kids are changing schools this
Yeah.
year. So that's a big transition and a shift in routine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm already thinking about that because my kids are going to have to be on the school bus at 6:15 in the morning. And I am just like, oh my gosh, that is so early. High schools always start so early anyway, but then because we live out in the country, so I'm already in summertime thinking about what is it
Mm-hmm.
going to look like in September. And I know that that's why this is going to be so important for people listening in September. Even if you're not a parent, well, I guess if you're not a parent, you might not feel this as much, but I feel it even with the seasons when they start to change. I'm like, oh, what an awesome
Absolutely.
time to change up your routines if they're not working for you or reevaluate them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I know for me and Heather, especially because your daughter's going into kindergarten, right?
Yes.
That's so fun. I remember that. And is it
Yeah.
full day?
Yeah, 8 to 3.
That's cool. Yeah. Our kids
Yeah.
school had just switched from like half day kindergarten to full day kindergarten. And I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, we don't have to think about daycare anymore, which sounds terrible. I was a teacher for 18 years and school is not daycare. I totally get that. But it was a nice shift for us. So I'm excited for you and excited for her. It's so much fun to hear their stories. I don't know about you when they have their first day with something new. I'm just thinking all day, like, I wish I could be with them to see what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing and what they're trying.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, enough about our kids and how excited we are for them to have these transitions because my twins are off to high school. Before we dive all the way into today's episode, I want to take a quick pause because there is something big happening today. The Push to 100 enrollment is officially open. If you're done numbing out, done playing small, and you know that you're meant for more than hangovers and Groundhog Day drinking cycles, this is your shot. 100 days alcohol-free, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. This will be 100 days to finally see what life feels like when you stop hitting the snooze button on your potential. The challenge starts on September 12th and enrollment closes at midnight on September 11th. Spots are limited to just 30 members, and once those spots fill up, the doors are closed. So if you're ready to prove to yourself what you're capable of, head to nomorewasteddays.co/push-2-100 or head to the link in the show notes so you can apply today and grab your spot. Let's do this. Now, I talk about routines a lot. Heather talks about routines a lot. And one of the reasons I do it is because when you have routines in place, you're less likely to have decision fatigue at the end of the day. You only have so many decisions you can make in a day. There's a lot of research that's behind this. And the most important decision that all of us need to make is to not drink. And for most of us, that comes at the end of the day, that stress we feel when we're like, ugh, okay, I've done enough already. I'm ready to have a drink. So when we're talking about morning routines, you might be thinking, why do I need a morning routine? How is that going to help me in the evening? It's because you're not having to think about what you're doing in the morning. You have it in place. So those are less decisions you're going to make. Same with the afternoon routine and same with the evening. So I'm going to take you through morning routine, late afternoon routine, and evening routine. I'm going to go through that pretty quick because at the very end of the episode, I'm going to talk about the cravings moment routine. I want you to actually get a routine in place for when cravings hit. And that's because you don't have to make a decision. You've got a routine in place. What do you do when a routine hits? So let's dive into morning routines, which happen to be my favorite. And like I said, they matter because they're going to help you with that decision fatigue. You know what's coming. It also sets you up for success in your day. If you start your day with a lot of stress, like because you wake up late and you can't find your outfit you're going to wear and you don't know what you're having for breakfast and you're just rushing all over the place, that's how your day is going to go. And I don't know. I know this because I've had this happen to me. How about you? You feel the same?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Your whole
gosh.
day is kind of thrown off. And sometimes I feel like I look like I got dressed in the dark. Like the other day, I had two different socks on. I know they're supposed to be cool or whatever, but it, it wasn't to look cool.
Right.
It was just socks were on my feet. And
Y-
that's okay. You
Yeah.
know?
And you guys both know that Heather and I have Laundry Mountain happening quite often at our house. I've actually had people email me and say, I'm so glad you guys talk about your laundry mountains because it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Yep.
last weekend I did get all my laundry put away, but it was a fluke. Okay. That's not,
Me too. Yeah.
I was like,
It was
whoa,
just a,
I almost posted it for our listeners to be like, whoa, who dis?
who dis? They both
Yeah,
did laundry pile. They both worked on their laundry pile. It'll be
I know.
back.
Yeah, I know. I even, as I was doing it, I was like, don't get all excited. But here's some things you can do in your morning to make it a little more peaceful. Because when you start peacefully, your day usually goes a little more peacefully, a little less stressful. So the first thing I do, and I'm not always excited. It's so funny. I'm not excited about this. At first, I wake up, I head over to the house because we still live in the yurt right now, my husband and I. And then I drink my bottle of water. That's like first thing. And for whatever reason, that feels like a chore. And after that, it's pretty smooth sailing. But I start with hydration, water first. We're pretty dehydrated first thing in the morning. And then I actually do my meditation after that. And then I do my workout. I'm pretty stripped down right now on my morning routine because I've had to adjust it quite a bit. And I am working to get back into doing 5 gratitudes, writing those down, and writing down my affirmations. But that's about it for my morning routine. I know people like, if they're like, don't have a morning routine, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's so much. But I want you to know that you can just say, I'm going to wake up 15 minutes before my kids and sip on coffee. I'm going to brew some coffee and I'm going to sip on it until they wake up. That can be your morning routine. What does your morning routine look like right now, Heather?
So the first thing I do when I get out of the bed is brush my teeth. If anybody's curious, that's what I do. I don't know why that's what I do, but that is the first thing I do. And I make my coffee. I get up early.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes my daughter's still asleep. Even if she is awake, I'm intentional about going on the deck for a few minutes and having a few sips of coffee and then, getting ready for the day. I have not just, I've been working on a capsule wardrobe over the past couple of
Oh, I
months.
love that.
So it's very simple everything matches everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put it on. And that's one last thing.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
I take my meds.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, get that one done. Well, and one thing I do is I always know where my workout clothes are. I don't always know what outfit I'm wearing for the day, but oh my gosh, when I do, that's top tier level. It just is not happening for me all the time. But I do always at least have my clothes laid out that I'm going to work out in. Just one less thing to think about, one less decision to make. And that's what I want you to think about as you're going through any of your routines. This is all about helping out that decision fatigue and making it so that most important decision to not drink is easier to make. So then we've got our midday routine. Midday, some people would call this late evening. You're going to do a midday check-in with yourself, and this will help prevent that 4 p.m. crash is what I wrote down. But for me, when I first quit drinking, it would be the hardest from probably 2:30 to, gosh, all the way to 7. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to really think about this time. I knew if I could make it to 7 p.m., I was good. I had made it. I wasn't going to drink then. For whatever reason, my brain stopped thinking about it by that point. But I want you to know when your moment is. For me, it is still between that 3 to 4 is when it's rough. I don't think about drinking anymore during that time. It's just kind of where I get like, ugh. So I just want you to know that you're building this afternoon routine to help you get through what is usually the hardest time for most of us. It's where we tend to have low energy. It's where we tend to have boredom, and it's where that decision fatigue really starts to show up for us. For most of us, we're done with our workday. So I just want you to think of some energy boosters that you can do before the cravings hit. So things you can do are having protein-rich snacks, hydrate again, step outside for 5 minutes, do a short guided meditation or breathing exercises, and then even think about texting or voice memoing an alcohol free friend, and then revisit your why. So that was like a lot of things, right? What I want you to do is take from that 2 or 3 things and say, okay, at 3 p.m., I'm going to sit down, I'm going to chug a glass of water, I'm going to eat a bowl of yogurt with some honey and some nuts, and then I'm going to go outside for 5 minutes. 3 things right there. And those 3 things can boost your energy and make it so that crash doesn't happen and you're getting ahead of the cravings. Do you have a routine at this time of day? I have to say, I don't have. This is where I struggle the most to have a consistent routine.
Me too. I struggle with this one the most. I notice that my anxiety peaks around 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I carry an apple and some almonds if I'm not at home, working from home. And I try to put on like a feel good playlist, chill playlist.
Yeah.
That's usually when I will call my bestie on the way to get my daughter, do that connection and make sure I'm drinking my water. And that's where my affirmations and mantras really come into play that I say in my head or out loud.
Yeah. Oh, I like to have the mantras and affirmations at that time. And I'm going to think about that because there's something that I want to get back into my life, but I have been really struggling with where to fit them in. So I'm going to try to remember that, like eat my bowl, because I usually do have a bowl of yogurt at like 3 p.m. It's my go-to snack. But I'm going to really think about like, have your bowl of yogurt, say your mantras in your head while you're having your bowl of yogurt. A habit stack there. We were just talking about that in the day makers. So now we're going into that evening routine. And remember, stick with me because we're going to have also a cravings routine that I'm going to give you. So evening routines are, for a lot of people, this is when I hear they struggle. For me, it was that afternoon time. But evenings are a danger zone for a lot of people because for a lot of people, it's when you put your kids to bed and you're like, finally, I can cut loose, have my glass of wine and comfort myself. But I want you to think about comforting yourself in a different way with all these different things. So you can be doing herbal teas or mocktails at this time, a scent-based ritual. So get a lavender diffuser out or candles, and then think about maybe mindless but comforting TV. I do that one. That one's me, like as I'm going through these. And then you could journal about the wins from the day. I have been doing that. I've been doing my line a day journal when I sit down to watch my mindless TV. I write my little line a day, and I'm liking this little habit that I got going on. Some people will do something with their hands at this time because if you can keep your hands busy, that really helps. So crocheting, coloring, or maybe you've got more time and you want to do some stretching, foam rolling, or even take a bath. So I know you're a bath person in the evening, right?
Yes, I used to be, and I've gotten out of that habit, and that's something I would like definitely to put back in. And my evening routine is all over the place
Yeah.
at this time. And my non-negotiables are I leave the house once a day, no matter what, because I work from home for the most part. And lately I've been going for like a mental health ride after like 8 o'clock. Just a quick ride, like a chill playlist. That's been landing for me. I like that idea of journaling a line while like doing the mindless activity, which mine would be my hot tea and True Crime Obsessed, which is my new favorite podcast.
Yeah, the line a day journal I love it, and it's so short, but it's so hard for me to be consistent with. So I really had to be like, how can I make it more consistent? And I put it on my end table, and now I see it at night, and I'm like, oh. And I tell myself like it's just a line a day, and all you have to do is write down what you did today. And I'm thinking about how we talked on another episode, the write it for your kids when they find your journal later on in life. So I've really been trying to find like what was the cool part of the day, or what was the struggle that maybe my kids wouldn't have realized of that day. And when they go back, they might remember it. So that's really, really been helping me. So think about that evening routine, and you're hearing both Heather and me say, this is a routine where we're kind of all over the place right now. That's what I want you to know. Routines take practice, and they take shifting, and they take exploration. So just continually revisit your routines, especially when you're at a time of transition in your life. So if your kids have just gone back to school, the evening routine is a perfect thing to revisit because it's a good time to revisit the bedtime routine and getting them set on that. And I know when I get my kids set on a new routine, it's easier for me to get set on a new routine as well. All right. Are you ready for the craving time routine?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm excited about this one because I feel like we always talk evening, morning, all that stuff. So I want you to start using this method whenever you have a craving. You're going to delay, distract, decide. So remember the 3 Ds: delay, distract, decide. And number 1, delay. The craving is going to feel urgent, but the truth is most cravings peak and fade within 15 to 30 minutes. That's super fast when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. So your first goal is to delay and buy yourself time. This is going to give your brain a chance to move out of the emotional impulsive part of the brain, which is your amygdala, and it's going to move back into logical thinking part, which is your prefrontal cortex. So tell yourself, I'm going to wait for 10 minutes before I do anything. And then set a timer if you need to, and then remind yourself this is temporary. You're not saying no to drinking forever. You're just saying no to it right now. And that's what you're delaying right there. So I'm going to wait 10 minutes before I decide if I'm going to drink. And if you're farther along on your journey and it's not drinking, maybe you're like, I'm going to wait 10 minutes before I have my piece of chocolate or Sour Patch Kids or whatever your thing is, or Cheetos, right? I'm going to wait 10 minutes. Then during those 10 minutes, I want you to distract yourself. So that's the second D. You're going to distract. While you're waiting, shift your focus. Do something, anything that takes your mind off of the craving. And this is going to break the loop between the craving and the automatic action of drinking. You're interrupting the brain's habitual pathway with this. So here are some things you can do to distract. And there are a lot of the things that are in your routine. So you can actually go, I could do apart from my morning routine right now or my afternoon. So go outside, text a friend, do a short breathing exercise, chug a glass of water or make a fun alcohol-free drink, turn on music from your favorite playlist, scroll a positive sober Instagram page or look at your sober tracker app, or start a small task like fold laundry. We've all got it. We're always talking about it here. Load the dishwasher. I feel like I also always have that chore. So it's like figure out that distraction. It only needs to be a 10-minute distraction because that's the guarantee you made to yourself. And then number 3 is decide. After the delay and distraction, now you pause and you consciously decide, do I really want to drink? Or do I want to stay aligned with my alcohol-free goals? So that's your question. That's a long one to memorize, but oh my gosh, that's so perfect. So do I really want to drink, or do I want to stay aligned with my alcohol-free goals? And then think about these things. How will I feel tomorrow morning if I drink tonight? And what am I really needing right now? Comfort, stress relief, boredom relief, connection. And then if the craving is past, which it usually does at this point, it's just so much easier to make that choice you're proud of. And by doing these 3 steps, you're putting the power back into your hands. You're not reacting on autopilot. You're making an empowered and conscious decision. So I really loved the 3 Ds. I think that that'll be so helpful to our listeners. I know that this is just kind of a method we teach, right? But now it's got a cool 3 Ds: delay,
Right.
distract, and decide. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add to the 3 Ds?
I think it's important when you are an obsessive person like me and you're doing the things, you're chugging the water, but you're thinking about wine. You're loading the dishwasher and then you see the wine glass or something that reminds you, and all you can think about is alcohol. Ask yourself, what is my next thought.
Mm.
I have done this recently, not related to alcohol, but with other things in my life. And I have to ask myself over and over. And when I ask myself, what's your next thought? Nothing comes to mind. Nothing. So
Yeah.
it's real helpful to disrupt that obsessive thinking if you have that.
I love that because I do have that for sure. What is my next thought? And that's like, yeah, because we can distract ourselves with Laundry Mountain, but then
Mm-hmm.
we're just thinking, after this, I'm going to eat my bag of Cheetos or whatever it is, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
thing is. Because that's the thing. We all have a thing, even if it's not alcohol. So use these as you move on in your alcohol free journey too. All right. So, really quick, I have like some quick fire questions for Heather at the very end. Can you please share your favorite personal routine?
I really love diamond dot painting. And that's something I've gotten out of the habit of, and I'm going to order it for my daughter and I. I like that because you're creating, your hands are busy, and it's mindless. So that's part of the wind down routine. It can go in the craving space. It can go in transition times, like maybe after dinner, you do some diamond dot painting instead of going for that drink. I also deeply love my skincare routine. That is something that brings me, I'm interested in it. I love researching, asking people what's worked for them. I actually love doing it, and it's good for you.
I love both of those. I need to try diamond dot painting because you keep talking about it. My favorite is meditation. I think my other favorite routine that's in place is reading before I go to bed. And even like last night, I woke up and my mind was just going for whatever reason. And then I just read in the middle of the night. And I read into it, like just really helps my brain chill out, wind down, fall back asleep. So that's
Yeah.
probably my two. Okay. So, what are your go to alcohol free routines for busy seasons when you're super busy?
So I like to be prepared. So I have bags with mine and my daughter's snacks, water, playlist. If I'm staying really busy, for me, it's important to check in with my sober sister. Like today, it was insane in the bed, sober.
Yeah.
And keeping a routine, excuse me, having a routine without a routine, if that makes any sense at all, is really important. Like when
Yeah.
you're traveling, try to at least have one of the things that you do in the morning and the evening.
Yeah. I try to keep a few things going even when we travel or when things are going nuts. So I love your tip for being prepared with snacks, water. I think those things, that's so smart. And I think it's
Yeah.
something we let slip when we get really busy, but it is so
Mhm.
easy. And I mean, snack bars, banana, apple, like it doesn't,
Yeah.
don't be like, and now I have to create beautiful Pinterest worthy snacks. No, you don't.
No, just throw it in your purse or your
Yes.
backpack. Or if you have like a small cooler bag,
Mm,
just throw it in there and go. Don't
yeah.
overthink it. Just try not to get hungry or thirsty. And part of that for me is keeping my blood sugar regulated so it doesn't have those dips. And then you'll have those mood shifts. And that's where alcohol can look like a really good idea.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect one. And then, very last, are there any routines that have not worked for you in the past?
I'm not going to lie. Me and meditation, I don't know.
I knew you were going to say this. I was like, I wonder what her answer will be.
I'm broken. I'm meditatively broken. However, I rephrase that to I love music, and I personally believe that that's meditative for me.
Yeah.
I also am writing a book, and that is very meditative
Oh,
for me,
that's so
right?
cool.
It's very reflectionary, and I'll listen to this like certain playlist, get in a zone. When I'm in that zone, I am in that zone. So no, it's not meditation by definition, but it works for me.
Oh, I love that. I was trying to think of mine. One thing I've tried to do is, let's see, 75 hard, where people
Mm-hmm.
do 500 million things for 75 days. And it's kind of
It's a lot.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. But one of the things was read for 10 minutes or read 10 pages of a book each day. I tried to put that into my morning routine and I hated it. I was like, ugh. So then I tried to listen. to a book for 10 minutes? No. So that's one that was a definite fail for me that I was like, nope, that one's not going to work. And I wanted us to talk about this because I want people to know that it is totally okay to try something that somebody else says, this is my thing. I love it. And then you can try it and say, oh, it's not my thing. So you can hear me say, I love meditation. And then you can hear Heather say, I don't like meditation, but I like listening to music. And
Mm-hmm.
and you can also hear me say, I love reading before I go to bed. I don't really like reading any other time of the day. Like,
Yeah.
and I think I think it's really, really good to hear that routines might fail. It doesn't make you a failure. It just means that doesn't work for you. And this is all about having a routine that you like, because if you like it, it becomes a habit. And then you don't have that decision fatigue because you're doing the same
Right.
thing every day.
I got stuck in this spiral last week, and this is not part of my routine, but this shows adaptability. So it was like I was fit to be tied. I don't know how to explain it. Like I would do one thing, and I'd be like, Lord, nothing that I normally do was working. So I sat down at my keyboard, and I was like, I'm gonna play "Stay" by Rihanna 10 times, and I'm gonna sing my ass off. And it worked. And I got the clarity. It's an easy one. The chords are easy. I love to sing it. Can I sing? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just me in the zoo here.
Yeah.
And I like walked away with clarity, and I had an answer to what was bothering me. Then I called my sober sister, woke her up, didn't mean to. So you just do the things,
Yeah.
and you throw shit at the wall till it sticks.
Yes. Yeah. And I want people to know that because, like, when I have people go through the 30-day challenge, I do say, you got to do your daily affirmations. You got to do your daily gratitudes for 30 days, right? I want people to have those in there. I think they're super important, but I do talk about find the way that works for you. So do really work on that. And if you do something for 30 days, and that's what I really do think too, try something for 30 days. If you don't like it, don't do it anymore. And if you're being met with a lot of resistance, explore how to do it differently and find your own path. So I just wanted everybody to hear that at the very end, because I know it's really easy to listen to a podcast like this and say, okay, I got to do all the things they just listed. Absolutely not. I just
No.
want you to look at your routines. It's a great time of year to reevaluate and just think, where can I improve? Or where do I need to change it? Because I made my morning routine in the summer very, very stripped down. And I did it intentionally for me because I knew I didn't want to wake up so early in the morning. I was like, I don't want to be like having to go to bed at 9 p.m. in the summertime so I can get up super early. I want a little more relaxation in my schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it's your mornings, your evenings, or the tricky craving windows, I want you to think about getting a few simple routines in place that can make your alcohol-free life feel so much easier. And I would love you to reflect on, after listening to this, what's one small alcohol-free routine that you want to start this week? Just one. Please don't try to revamp all your routines right now.
No.
So, anything else you wanted to add?
I want to say you're doing better than you think you are.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear your one thing. And we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.